incredible stuff coming out even today. In fact, as soon as I'm finished, I'm going to read it, but it was incredible stuff.
Yeah, it's
you
about
pick it up. Fox picks it up, but nobody else is picking it up.
Well, we reported
CNN, which is totally crooked, you know, the Clinton News Network. CNN, first of all, their ratings are terrible. I don't know if you've seen their ratings.
They're doing better because they're on Hillary's side and all of that. But you're right. I'm not going to dispute the fact that
they're doing badly in the ratings.
80% of the press doesn't want you to win. That's a lot, 80%. But you always have a forum here, and I think Fox News is giving you a fair shake. Would you say that's accurate?
I would say, yeah, I would say Fox has been pretty good. Your guys in the morning have been fantastic. You've been fair. I wouldn't say you're the greatest, but you've been fair. I think Fox has been overall. No, you have some great people. Sean Hannity is a great person. You have some great people, and you have some people that frankly don't treat me fairly.
All right.
But you've been fine. I'm not going to jump up and down about your treatment.
I appreciate you coming on because look, you gain currency coming in here because I'm not.
I do?
Rooting for anybody. I'm asking you the hardest questions I can ask you, and you sit there and you answer them. And guess who doesn't answer
I
them?
do.
Guess who doesn't answer them?
Let me guess. Is it crooked Hillary?
I would never be disrespectful and call her that, but she should.
Yeah, well, that's what she is.
She should.
Yeah.
All right. We appreciate your time, Donald. Thank you very much. Have a good rally this evening.
Thank you.
Directly ahead, we'll have reaction to that interview. Then later, your thoughts on the presidential election. We received nearly 8,000 questions. You guys in the spotlight. Up ahead. Impact segment tonight, reaction to the Trump interview. Joining us from Washington, Heidi Presbella, senior political reporter for USA Today, and Lisa Booth from the Washington Examiner. All right, what was the headline for you in that interview, Lisa?
I'm deeply concerned. I'm deeply concerned because he didn't... Well, he didn't go on the attack against Hillary Clinton. He's not running against the Republican Party. In fact, he needs the Republican Party. He absolutely needs the Republican National Committee to stay with him because he has no ground game or campaign infrastructure without them. So he absolutely needs the Republican Party. And my concern is he didn't talk about Hillary Clinton. He didn't lay out the indictment of Hillary Clinton, whether it was just even the most recent WikiLeaks information that has surfaced about what looks like a pay-to-play with a Haitian industrial park, or the fact that the Hillary Clinton campaign was seemingly coordinating with the White House regarding the State Department, right, with open records information.
The fact that Mr. Trump is attacking his own party is a major part of this campaign, Heidi. Because now you have a guy who's essentially running as an independent.
It was a good part, and it was a good strategy, Bill, during the primary, and that is the whole problem, is that we are no longer in the primary, and I don't hear from Donald Trump any sense that he sees the need for a course correction and to come out with what is the general election strategy. He sounded just as intent to go after Paul Ryan and John McCain and other Republicans like them as he did to go after Hillary Clinton. And, you know, you really hit at the central issue, which is the woman vote. And there, sorry to say, I heard a little bit of denial about the fact that there was even a problem. You can't have it both ways. You can't boast about the polls and the primary and then say that they're garbage when they don't suit you in the general election. And that's kind of where we are.
Clearly, Lisa, he believes that he'll win women over with the... that he can get things done for everybody, not just women, and that Hillary Clinton's just a big phony and not going to do anything. I think the general aspect of that message is what he's going to rely upon.
Well, and Bill, I think Donald Trump does best and could do better when he talks about the issues that voters care about. He does have a populist message that does resonate with Americans right now. And Americans want change. There's data points in both national polls and state polls to support the fact that they want big changes to politics, to the economy, and just at large. And so those are issues he can hit, whether it's talking about the economy, whether it's talking about trade, whether it's talking about immigration. I know, but the problem, Bill, is that he does worse when he goes off on these tangents, when he goes off attacking the Trump University judge, the Khan family, Alicia Machado, attacking the Republican Party. He could do better, and he could help, or he could potentially catch up to Hillary Clinton if he focuses on the issues Americans care about, but he gets too easily distracted, and that is his biggest flaw.
Now, Heidi, your organization, USA Today, and the Gannett company in totality, has been accused of being very anti-Trump.
Well, I think you're referring to our editorial board decision
but also
to
headlines,
not make an endorsement.
Headlines on USA Today are very provocative against Trump.
Well, I would say that we're in good company with that. Trump's pretty much hit almost every single news organization that's considered a mainstream newspaper outlet, and we've actually never been banned, which is, I think, saying something good, since a lot of news organizations
I may be banned after tonight's interview, so you're right. But would you agree with me that 80% of the national media is looks askance at Mr. Trump? Would you agree with that number?
I think the media played a big role in building Mr. Trump up, and I do think that the media is piling on in terms of taking him down, but with the ammunition that he's been handing to them.
He hands them ammunition, but as I mentioned tomorrow, Lisa, I'll give you the last word, we're going to do a talking points memo where we document now, we have it in writing, all of the sleazy deals that media people have made with the Clinton campaign. And it's awful. It is appalling. It should never happen. Last word, Lisa.
No, I agree with that. And look, it's interesting why the audio tape, why the news media sat on it for so long and it just recently surfaced. Of course, they're in the tank for Hillary Clinton, which is why Donald Trump needs to be the one that is bringing up this information about the Clinton Foundation, the email scandal, and bring the indictment against her on the failed economy and the failed foreign policy. So he needs to be the one that is driving home that message every single chance he gets.
And I think he'll have another chance next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow, in the Las Vegas debate. Ladies, thank you very much. Very kind of you to help us. And 2 footnotes, we have a brand new BillO'Reilly.com poll for you. If the presidential election were held this week, who would win? All right, we'd like you to vote, BillO'Reilly.com. And also, if you go to the website, we have a podcast on swing states, which you might find very interesting. Everybody can listen to that. Plenty more ahead as the factor moves along this evening. Apparently, there's a split among very religious Americans over the presidential vote. We'll have a report. Then are some black Americans getting fed up with the Democratic Party not doing very much for them? I hope you stay tuned for those reports. Back in follow-up segment tonight, Talking Points Memo, how evangelical Christians will vote on November 8th. On Saturday, Pastor James McDonald, member of Donald Trump's Evangelical Executive Advisory Board, wrote an email saying he has had enough of Mr. Trump and is withdrawing support. That off the Access Hollywood tape revelation. Now, it's certainly true that Mr. Trump's vulgar comments have disturbed many Americans, not just religious ones. But the debate is very intense in theological circles. That's because the Democrats are the party of secularism. They want to impose taxpayer-funded abortion, no limits on the abortion procedure, and generally take a very dim view of any public displays concerning religion. If Hillary Clinton wins the presidency, you can bet she will appoint a secular liberal judge to the Supreme Court. So religious Americans have a stark choice: rejecting a man with a dubious past on some social issues, including the treatment of women, or supporting that same man, Donald Trump, because he would uphold traditional religious tenets in the political arena. Again, very difficult issue for Americans who hold sincere religious beliefs. So, what to do? Talking Points cannot tell you. It all has to do with your conscience, what you believe is the greater good. As in every election, there are no perfect candidates. Both Clinton and Trump are flawed individuals, as are we all. No one can tell you who to vote for. That would be insulting. But I can tell you this: if Donald Trump loses the support of religious Americans, he will surely lose the election. And that's a mellow. Now for reaction, joining us from Dallas, Pastor Robert Jeffress, also a member of the Trump Evangelical Executive Advisory Board. So you know Pastor McDonald. What's your reaction to that?
Look, Pastor McDonald is a friend, and I think he's a good man, but I think he's wrong, especially to label Donald Trump or anybody as, quote, worthless. I mean, I can hardly imagine Jesus saying that. As you pointed out, we're all sinners who need a Savior. But, Bill, the real issue here in this election is it's a binary choice for conservative Christians between one candidate who is pro-life, pro-religious liberty, and pro-conservative justices of the Supreme Court, and the other candidate who holds exactly the opposite views on all of those issues. And to me, for a conservative Christian to stay at home and allow Hillary Clinton to become the president is unthinkable and inexcusable.
All right. Now, just before we went to air, Pastor McDonald issued a blog statement saying that he's not going to quit the Trump campaign or whatever. So he's coming back a little bit from what he said. But what if I'm in your congregation in Dallas, and I come to you and I say, listen, Pastor, I got kids, I got a wife, they can't support this kind of conduct, personal conduct, and I mean, I'll stay home because I don't want to be a hypocrite. What do you say?
Yeah. Well, what I would say is, I would say it lovingly, Bill, I would say, so you're going to support Hillary Clinton?
No, they're going to
yes,
stay home.
I think character...
They're going to say, because I think the turnout's going to be low.
Yeah.
I think, look, it's estimated that 3 million people didn't vote for Romney because he was a Mormon. So you got a lot of people just not going to show.
Well, Bill, I will still maintain for a conservative to stay home who would normally vote conservative is to effectively cast a vote for the other candidate. And Bill, this is the issue that's getting lost in all of this. When people say they can't vote for Donald Trump out of character, are they really arguing that Hillary Clinton has a superior character? Here is a woman who destroyed 33,000 emails. She attacked the women whom her husband attacked, and she supports the hideous practice of partial birth abortion. How can anybody say she is more moral or has more character than Donald Trump?
All right. So what I think is going on now is a lot of emotion swirling around the evangelical Christian community, because anything on tape is going to just rise right through the roof.
Yes.
So it's emotion. If what you're saying is true in the sense that the greater good is served, in your opinion, by electing Donald Trump, do you believe the emotion then will tamp down?
I'm not sure it will. I think there's probably more revelations coming out. I have no inside knowledge. I just imagine that's true. But Bill, I'd like to remind people about Donald Trump. He's owned these comments. He's apologized for them to the people as well as to his family. He said he's a better man. I know Donald Trump personally like you do. I've been around his family for the last year. He's interacted with my wife. He is nothing but a gentleman and a loving person.
Okay.
The Donald Trump I know is not the Donald Trump on those tapes.
Pastor, thanks as always. We appreciate it. When we come right back, Donald Trump has delivered a very strong message that African Americans are being used by the Democratic Party. Is that resonating in black precincts? That debate, moments away. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in the Campaign 2016 segment tonight. One of Donald Trump's favorite themes is that the Democratic Party uses black voters, but does very little to help them in real life.
I've heard them where Hillary's constantly talking about the inner cities of our country, which are a disaster, education-wise, job-wise, safety-wise, in every way possible. I'm going to help the African Americans. I'm going to help the Latinos, Hispanics. I am going to help the inner cities. She's done a terrible job for the African Americans. She wants their vote, and she does nothing, and then she comes back 4 years later.
Joining us now from Washington, Jamila Bey, radio talk show host on WPFW-FM in D.C. So there's some truth to what Mr. Trump says, that African Americans, by many measures, including owning homes, education, are not gaining as much as they should be. Your reaction?
Oh, absolutely. A broken clock is right twice a day. And on this particular point, I think that Donald Trump is on to something. He takes it to a place that I completely disagree with. But absolutely, black people, Latino people, poor American people should be doing better in this wonderful and prosperous nation than they're doing.
Okay, but the Democratic Party has been in charge of cities like Chicago and Baltimore, which are disaster areas. President Obama has been in office almost 8 years, and things have gotten worse. And the big thing that caught my eye, Jamila, is the home ownership rate, because that's a stable rock. Once you're invested in society, you have your own home, you're working, raising children, all of that. 41.7%, all right, in the African American community, far and away, 71% for whites. And that's gone down under President Obama.
Yes, it has.
So
yes, it has.
It says to me that all of the liberal, we're concerned and our policies are targeted, it isn't working for some reason.
It's not working because when you had the banks get deregulated and you had these predatory lenders going into black communities, a lot of communities too, there